Hey guys, it is Christine, also known as Ivy Winter. Thank you for joining me for another live stream. I am technically 2 minutes late. I'm usually far more punctual than that. Let me know, as always, if there's any issues hearing me or anything like that. Hey, fun Disney fan. So I put a call out there for this stream. I just wanted to do like a fun topic today, unrelated to anything like really going on in the parks or anything like that. But I was thinking to myself, how fun would it be if you took two rides and we swapped their themes or their stories? So that's what we're going to be kicking off with today before we get into Q&A. And it's just a topic that I've been thinking about for a while. I think that's so weird that there's an echo. Is this better? Tell me if the topic that I've been thinking about for a while. It could just also be like if we're talking about echo, like reverb. That's because I'm in my basement, and despite all of my work to not have an echo down here, it's tough. And despite all is it? Oh, that's so weird. Okay, hold on. Not have an echo down here. Is this better? We're gonna test this. Tell me if this audio is better. That's very strange because the only thing that should be recording, thank you. The only thing that should be recording is my mic. I don't know, but OBS can be really weird sometimes. It can be finicky with its volume controls. So today I just wanted to have a little fun and think about, if we switched the theming and the story of two rides, what would that be like? And I think there's a lot of easy answers, right? So my brain went to like Pirates and Splash originally, which is kind of an easy answer because they're both boat rides already. I guess Pirates would just be more thrilling with a really big drop at the end of it if it sat in the Splash Mountain building. And I guess Splash Mountain would be just the quiet, slow parts if it was in the Pirates building. Tricky Crayon says that was my answer. Yeah, I feel like it's really easy to, obviously you can just take two very similar rides, like with similar ride mechanics and make them the same. But then I was thinking, like, what else? Like, I was almost thinking Space Mountain, right? But, like, what could you put in its place that would work in the dark that wouldn't detract from, like, what that theme would be? Because I was like, what if we take Space Mountain and we take that theme and we put it in, like, Big Thunder, right? But we can make Big Thunder, like, some crazy mining mountain on Mars or something. Like, it's in the future, and, it's supposed to be, like, out in space. Maybe we enclose the space a little bit. But then it's like, how do you put Big Thunder in Space Mountain and, like, not see what's happening? So I feel like that's kind of a harder one to, like, switch up. Daffy Stardust says, trade Figment and the Yeti from Everest without ever making any mention of the change. Oh, you mean, like, the actual characters? That would be hilarious. I would love... It would be so funny. Like, I'm just imagining that moment where you see the Yeti projected, but instead of seeing the Yeti's outline, it's legitimately like Figment's outline, and everyone just being like, wait a minute, what? And then just a giant Disco Figment. Disco Figment. That could be a new one at the end of that ride. I was actually thinking Yeti and Dinosaur would probably be a good trade because the whole thing of Everest is like that builds to the Yeti, and I think you could have that builds to the Carnotaurus instead. I don't know what's scarier, having the Carnotaurus the way that it already comes out in Dinosaur, or having it as a giant thing before, at the end of a roller coaster. And then I think you could take the whole Yeti theme and easily put that into Dinosaur. And maybe it's more like you're going through Nepal and there's like a snowstorm and, avalanches and all of that. So you still have a reason for why you're like driving around so sporadically. But then the Yeti's stalking you instead of a dinosaur. Fun Disney fan says, hear me out. The ride whose theming should be switched is Pirates of the Caribbean and Superstar Limo, because Superstar is defunct, that the theming of Pirates would disappear and Superstar would be back. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you switched out with a defunct ride, then technically that ride you switched for would be defunct at this point. So think about that wisely when you're swapping out your rides. Daffy Stardust says, with the time machine, you could trade Dinosaur and Spaceship Earth. Yeah, that actually could be cool. Like, what if we did a story of dinosaurs, period, through Spaceship Earth, right? Like, we go through all of the different periods of dinosaurs up until man comes about and things change. And you end Spaceship Earth with, like, the meteor shower. Or, and then Dinosaur, I guess you want to keep it thrilling, right? So, like, what scene from Spaceship Earth could we have in Dinosaur that would be really exciting and thrilling? You know, maybe it's, I don't even know, Rome burning? I don't know. Like, that's definitely one to think about. Yeah, I think it's really easy to kind of do same. So I was trying to think, like, what if we took Haunted Mansion and flipped that with, like, I don't know, a coaster or something. You know what I mean? Because it's very easy to take, like, Haunted Mansion and Spaceship Earth or something and swap those out because they're both slow-moving dark rides. So could we swap Haunted Mansion with Rock and Roller Coaster? It doesn't even make any sense. Like, I feel like an in the dark Haunted Mansion ride would be awesome, but, like, what is, like, you know, Aerosmith the story through a mansion? I don't know. That sounds terrible the other way around. So probably not the best swap of all. Fun Disney fan, let's have Journey into Imagination with Figment switch with Journey into Imagination. I think a lot of people would like that. That's kind of cheating because I think that's just like bringing it back to the old thing. What if we had Jungle Cruise switch with the Tiki Room? So the Tiki Room just becomes one of the skippers telling you jokes. Like, it's basically stand-up comedy for like, you know, 10 minutes. And then the Jungle Cruise is all rethemed, and it's just like all of the birds, and you just hear the Tiki Room song as you're going. It's like Small World. You just get the Tiki Room song for like 15 minutes as you're going through Jungle Cruise. They're popping up everywhere. They're behind the waterfall. They're in the caves and the temple and stuff. Yeah, I think that could work. The Rockin' Mansion tour, I like that. I don't really know what it would look like. Like, maybe it would be like, because isn't the whole thing like you get backstage passes for Aerosmith? So maybe it's like you are backstage. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think it would be pretty terrible to put Rock and Roller Coaster in the Haunted Mansion building now that I'm thinking about it. Not my best idea. If you guys have any other ideas of, like, if you would take two rides and you're going to swap the theming and the story, but you have to keep the buildings the same. Like, that's the key here. Like, the buildings, the ride mechanics have to be the same. If something has drops, like, it's going to continue to have drops, you know? So, Cattleman says Space Mountain and Splash Mountain, Brer Rabbit in space. I'd be down for that. Like, I think it'd be really funny if you had a dark ride but it was all like projections of like the story of Splash Mountain and of Brer Rabbit being like, you know, maybe instead of like being thrown into the briar patch where he's from, it's like, just kick me out and throw me onto Earth, you know? I don't really know how it would go the other way around though. Like, would Splash Mountain just be really dark and like trippy, lots of stars and stuff with all of your drops? That would be interesting. I'm trying to bring my head to like Hollywood Studios. I mean, you could swap. We've been swapping a lot of rides in the same parks, but you can swap rides from like two totally different parks, whatever you want to do. So, what if we had? Well, now I'm staying in the same park. We swap Star Tours with whatchamacallit? We swapped Star Tours with Flight of Passage. I guess that's kind of cheating, right? Because they're both like motion rides, but I think it'd be really neat to have like something super immersive like Flight of Passage, but over Star Wars lands. But it would only be one showing. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be all the different planets like we have with Star Tours. So that would be the only thing that you're missing. Whereas like then if we put Flight of Passage in Star Tours, maybe it's like you're going on a tour of Pandora, but you're going to be able to see multiple different things, not just like what you see in Flight of Passage, right? I guess it's too easy of a swap almost, but it would be kind of cool. Daffy Stardust says, Space Mountain in Tower of Terror, more than just an up and down motion when you go in. That'd be cool. I could see that. It's in the dark. They both have big parts in the dark. So I feel like you could swap that. Then you're having a Tower of Terror roller coaster. I don't really know. I mean, I guess it actually makes sense. Oh, maybe Space Mountain turns into a Twilight Zone. Forget the Tower of Terror aspect. But Space Mountain turns into a Twilight Zone coaster. And you're basically going through the whole opening montage of Twilight Zone. Because that all takes place in, like, space with stars, right? Easy Disney. Just do one of those overlays like Ghost Galaxy over in Disneyland, and boom, now you've got Twilight Zone Space Mountain. Fun Disney fan says Pecos Bill swaps with Thule Canteen so we can have good quick service in the Magic Kingdom. Tricky Cran says, I am offended on behalf of Cosmic Rays. Do not defend Cosmic Rays. I actually agree. I don't think that we have very good quick service in Magic Kingdom at all. The only one I like that I'll consistently go to is Columbia Harbor House. And that's just because I feel like it offers some different things. Like, I feel like a lot of the other places is just like chicken nuggets, burgers, chicken sandwich. And like, that's it. At least Columbia Harbor House. Like, I like fish. So, you know, it's got shrimp, it's got fish, and like all of that. But man, Magic Kingdom really, and it's been years, has not had a very good quick service. So, and I don't think Cosmic Rays counts. I really have never been a fan. That's just my honest answer. Tricky Crown says, yeah, a lot of Magic Kingdom is just the chicken nuggets, fries, no variation. Yeah, I think that's my biggest problem. And it obviously, like, it has worked in other parks. You know, look at Satuli Canteen, which feels very different than a lot of other quick service. And then look at Epcot that has obviously quick service for like every country. And I think that they could do something more interesting in the Magic Kingdom. Like, why don't we have something like Skipper's Canteen, which is this idea of having more worldly food, but like make it a quick service? Why can't we have, I mean, Cosmic Rays could be fun. Like, that could be really like, here's some weird, interesting space-themed foods without being so bizarre that people won't eat them. But, like, you have the theming right there to make something a lot more interesting. And, you know, I don't know. I don't know why they don't do it. Maybe it's because it's their biggest park and, like, most people just want to eat a burger, you know. I'm sure there's reasons for it. Death Starter says, Living with the Land swapped with Jungle Cruise, both talking about plants. Skipper totally ignores the animatronic animals. That would be really funny. It gets like really serious about plants. I like that. Tricky's Crown says Woody's Lunchbox is really good. In Hollywood Studios, though, I have not gone since basically since Toy Story Land opened. So I'll have to check that out in January. That will be a first for me, seeing all of that. Fun Disney fan says, I like going to Pinocchio Village House to eat because I like the flatbread. I think they're okay. There's a salad there that I really like that's like fairly consistent. I think it's just an okay location. I can't even think, like, I'm trying to think of all the other quick services in Magic Kingdom, and like they don't even come to mind really because I just don't think that they're very good. So I'm trying to think, what else could we swap? I mean, it's actually really interesting to think about how easily some of these things can swap with each other, which I guess goes to show how strong some of the theming is, but also how they work on certain rides that, yes, are similar to each other, but in a way kind of work well. Oh, that was so creepy. I just, like, my my OBS was just like showing things that was not happening. I don't know. I have a ghost in here or something. Daffy Stardust says the chicken waffle sandwich at Sleepy Hollow is excellent. This is true. I forget about the small things like that. Like, when I think quick service, a lot of the time I'm thinking about you walk in and you are ordering from whoever and, you know, getting your tray and sitting down or whatever. I forget about things like Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow actually does have excellent, excellent food. So I totally agree with that. I think it's like a bit of a, I wouldn't say hidden gem, but a lot of people forget about it. And it definitely is a good place to go. Hey, Rob Fuzz, thank you for joining. Fun Disney Fan says, I thought of it as a crime when they got rid of Aunt Polly's and It's Fried Chicken. I mean, yeah, it's, I don't know. Just what Disney does with their food, with their quick service food is very interesting. Sometimes I wonder if they're trying to convince people to do more sit-downs. But I think that there's always going to be a bigger draw for quick service because it's more affordable and it is, as in the name, quick. And a lot of people don't want to sit down for a 45-minute, hour-long lunch or dinner. So I don't know. I think it's partly because I live in a place now, like I live in New York, and we have a lot of different food. And so I'm a little spoiled in that way. And so when I go to other places, like I want to have like more options than just chicken nuggets and burgers. But like I said, I'm sure that those are the things that sell for them. So okay, so since if we have no other, you know, theme swap ride ideas, then we can get into some general Q&A. So any questions about news or park planning or the channel, anything, totally open, whatever you guys want to talk about. Honestly, right now on my mind has been the January trip coming up, even though yes, it's like I'm kind of a million years away, but I'm one of those people who like starts counting. Like as soon as I'm under 100 days, we're at like 60 something now. I'm already in like countdown mode, and I'm also very, very excited for one of my really close friends who's gonna come. Her name's Nikki. She was one of my bridesmaids. She used to be a roommate. We're very close. She hasn't been to Disney World in 15 years, and she has no idea what's going on. Like she was like, "What the heck are magic bands? What is this website? What's Magical Express? What am I doing?" She's gonna only have 3 very full park days. She's getting a 3-day park hopper. So Rob and I are trying to figure out the best course of action to get her to not only see all the new stuff, because she wants to see all of that, but like she wants to do the classics as well. So right now, I think we've got it as like a very full Magic Kingdom day. Maybe a full Epcot day, I don't know, and definitely half Hollywood Studios, half Animal Kingdom. I think with a little bit of flexibility on that Epcot day. Fun Disney Fan says, let's swap the theming of Coronado with the All-Stars. Don't you dare touch my Coronado. Could you imagine just a giant All-Stars resort? Because Coronado's huge. Like, could you just imagine those? You could probably fit all 3 of the themes of All-Stars in Coronado. Like, you could just make it different sections. That's how big it is. Daffy Stardust says, where are you staying, eating? We are staying at Riverside. So I've actually never stayed at Riverside. I've done French Quarter 3 or 4 times now. And oddly enough, I've never stayed right next door. So I'm excited about that. We just applied the winter discounts. If you guys don't know, they released general public winter discounts like I want to say a month ago. So we called up and applied those to our rooms, but we're still waiting for annual pass discounts, which should be happening in the next couple of weeks, which will probably be deeper, and then we'll have to call again and apply those. But yeah, so we've got 2 rooms. There are 6 people total going. Is myself, Rob, his girlfriend Kat, who you all know, our friend Laura, who has appeared in some vlogs before, possibly her husband. Her husband's in the military, and so his schedule is like kind of up in the air. And then my friend Nikki. So there'll be 6 of us on this trip. Daffy Stardust says, I stayed at the Yacht Club last weekend and I really liked it. Oh my god, I want to stay at the Beecher Yacht so badly. Like, I love walking through those resorts. They are so beautiful, but to be completely honest, they're a bit out of my price point normally. But I've been thinking, like, I've been really thinking after this, I have another contract that I'm working for the next 6 months, and I've been thinking, like, maybe after I want to do a very quick, like, 2 or 3 night solo trip, and I want to stay somewhere really nice. And that was, like, one of the ones I was thinking of, or Animal Kingdom Lodge. because I figure if it's only 2 or 3 nights, and if I can get an annual pass discount, maybe I could make it work. And then you asked, oh, thank you, Rob. Yeah, and for guys, anyone who doesn't know, I'm a freelancer. Sorry, I couldn't get those words out. So I work usually contract by contract, if not on my own clients. And in New York, I'm lucky that we have a lot of advertising here because I work in social media advertising. So finished up a 6-month contract, and literally before I even finished it, got this other job. And so when you freelance, it's a lot of bouncing around. But I'm really happy that I'm continuing to work. It's always a good thing. Rob says, I'm a contractor too. It's rough. Yeah. I mean, because sometimes you've got work and then sometimes you're like, oh my God, I'm not working for 3 months. What am I doing? I guess making a lot of videos. I mean, that really is, and I want to apologize because I feel like I haven't been able to make as many videos as I want to because of my work schedule. Kind of bums me out. But you guys have been so supportive and awesome, and I hit over 2,900 subscribers this week, and I just love you guys. You guys have just been so great. Bill P says, is Trader Sam's a good place to go for a first-time solo trip? What are some other suggestions for places I go? If we're talking like bars and just like going out at night, yeah, I think Trader Sam's is fine. If actually it's such a small bar that I feel like you're better off going as one person, because it's been harder for me to get in there with bigger groups because there just aren't a lot of seats. So sometimes you roll up and they say, well, there's, I don't know, 5 of you, you're going to have to wait 30, 35 minutes to even just like get in the bar. So as one person, it's actually beneficial for you for these smaller places because you can just roll up and sit at the bar or, you know, whatever. I also really like Abracadabra, that is on the boardwalk. It is on the boardwalk inside of things. It is next to Flying Fish, I believe. And it is, as you would think, with the name Abracadabra, it's like magician themed, but it's not like super gimmicky or anything. It's just supposed to feel like if you've ever seen the movie The Prestige, that's what it kind of feels like. Like it feels like this old late 1800s, early 1900s like magician haunt. It's a very, very cool bar. Hey, says Francis, thank you for joining. Fun Disney Fan says, if you stay at Yacht Club or Beach Club, stay at Beach, because I always have a great experience at Beach, but my Yacht Club experiences have been spotty. It's good to know. I don't know if you mean like in terms of like the room or service. I would love to know details on that. Feel free to dish and spill. Yeah, and then, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't answer your other question, Daffy. We said where we're eating right now. The only thing we have booked is a night at the Beer Garden. That was Rob's request. He really likes going there. And it's also very easy for a full group, so we have it booked for 6. We try to do, I would say, at least 2 to 3 dinners together, with the understanding that, you know, we're groups of a whole bunch of different people, and we're going to have different plans, and like, you know, Rob and Kat might want to do a date night one night, or, you know, maybe someone else just doesn't want to spend money on a sit down. We're just going to do a quick service. So we do a few different meals that are together. So we spend that time together. But then we kind of wing it, you know, as we're going along. Like for myself, I'll probably book a couple of sit downs. And then if someone wants to join, I'll just add them in there, which is what I usually do. Says Francis says, yes, Yacht Club is fantastic. A lot of people have really recommended it. Fun Disney Fan says, really, I've had issues with both the rooms and the service, as we're talking about Yacht Club, but mostly the service, but that's just been my experience. That's really interesting. It's actually very interesting that, like, you would have such different experiences from sister resorts, basically. But I will keep that in mind. Yeah, like I said, I really want to stay in the boardwalk area again. If any, like, I think that was one of my favorite things, like favorite places to stay, because there was nothing more convenient than walking out of the Boardwalk Inn and walking to Epcot or walking to Hollywood Studios, or if we weren't in as much of a rush, we would get on the boat. And like, to be that close to 2 parks like that was excellent. I really, really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't find very great about Boardwalk Inn was the bus service. It was a bit slow. I was actually surprised at how slow it was going from the resort to maybe Animal Kingdom or Magic Kingdom or what have you. Actually, sometimes it was easier, believe it or not, to go to Epcot, walk through Epcot, and then get on the monorail and go to Magic Kingdom. So yeah, at least in my experience, and this was like 2 years ago, they did not have the greatest bus service. Let's see, says Francis, I only got back from Disney World, but I was wondering if there are any top 5 recommendations for eating out, like restaurants. I mean, there's so many, and I feel like that could really be like, I mean, you could do in-park, you can do resort, you can do Disney Springs alone, top 5. I think, okay, so speaking of Disney Springs, one of my favorite places to eat for a really, really good meal is Homecoming. It is delicious. They have some really great fried chicken, mac and cheese, really good cocktails if you like cocktails. Just like always hits the spot, always delicious, very friendly service. It might be my favorite restaurant there. I know a lot of people like, I think it's called Morimoto, am I correct? That's the Japanese restaurant. And the only reason I haven't been there is because there actually is one in New York. And so I always feel like, well, if I'm going to go, I might as well just go to the New York one because I live here. But I do hear that it is very, very good. I have yet to have real experience eating at the Edison or anything like that, though I've heard the food there is good, if a little pricey, but Homecoming's definitely a favorite. I really like, personally, like I said, I like fish, so Coral Reef I like a lot in Epcot. If you're not going to dine in World Showcase, I think it's like one of your better options. In the Future Worlds area, I really like Skipper's Canteen. I think it is a very strong sit-down meal for Magic Kingdom. Again, really, really great service. And I also really like Hollywood Brown Derby. That's another favorite of mine that, yes, is a little bit of expensive, but I feel like the food always lives up to the cost. Like, I've never eaten there and been like, yeah, I'm really mad I spent this money because it's not great. Like, it's always been great. Daffy Stardust says, I just ate at California Grill and Via Napoli for the first time on the trip, and both were really good. I've eaten California Grill once. I did it with my husband. We kind of had a date night, and it was delicious and beautiful. It was just a really, really good time. I have not eaten at Via Napoli. I don't know how you pronounce that. I'm not Italian. I'm not even gonna try. I haven't eaten there, and I still haven't gone to the wine cellar in Italy. I don't know how I haven't been there. Like, I have a friend who actually lives like 45 minutes outside of Disney World, which is amazing. And he's like always there with like his wife and like taking like Instagram stories of it. And I'm like, oh, I've never been to the wine cellar. I really gotta go. Fun Disney Fan says, I'm excited because yesterday I booked a lunch at Beer Garden for my first time ever. And I'm excited because it's a candlelight processional meal and I get to see a show hosted by Whoopi Goldberg. Who doesn't love Whoopi Goldberg? That woman is great. Beer Garden's fun. If you like German food, not everyone does, but like, it's good. It's basically a buffet, so you get up and pick what you want. It is obviously more than just bratwurst because you guys know I can't eat red meat. I'm allergic, so thankfully there's plenty for me to eat there. The funniest thing is, like, when you get, and we've got the big beers, like last time me and Rob got the big ones, not the little guys, and then they do the whole song, and you're supposed to do the whole toast. Holding that beer up, like, I'm pretty sure I felt like my arm was gonna fall off. Like, I just couldn't do it. It's a good time. There's music, it's indoors looks like outdoors, which is like Rob's favorite theming thing ever. It's good. I like the Beer Garden. Francis says, I really enjoyed Coral Reef from last year's trip. It's certainly a must. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like Coral Reef, I've actually seen like people really 50-50 on it, and I've never had a bad meal there. The best fish that they have there, if you guys are fish eaters, is the mahi-mahi. It is delicious. It is always, always good. Plus, who doesn't like to sit there and watch sharks while you're eating like lunch or dinner? Fun Disney Fan says, I know 2 favorites of mine are Crystal Palace and the Garden Grill. Breakfast is best at Crystal Palace, by the way. I have done breakfast at Crystal Palace, and I agree. It's so good. It's like so much food. And you got the characters, you got Winnie the Pooh characters. And I just love like the inside of it. Like, it's just a really beautiful building. And then you're right there at Magic Kingdom. So if you go early enough, you just walk out and get your day started, which is super, super great. And I've done Garden Grill once actually before, and that was also really fun. I had a great time. We had a really funny Pluto at our Garden Grill who was like trying to balance on one of our forks on his nose, and like he was just great. He was a great time, and the food's really good too. Let's see. Says Francis has been at Crystal Palace for breakfast twice. This year and last year's trip. It's so amazing. It is really good. If you guys want a good breakfast, and it's, like I said, so convenient. I think it's better than the Be Our Guest breakfast. I think Be Our Guest is very overrated. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful restaurant, and you should go in there and look at it because it's incredible. Whether you're a Beauty and the Beast fan or not, it's incredible. But I don't think the food's very good. I'm trying to think what else for January. I mean, that's about it. I'm in the middle of roundups, you know, like I'm sending out emails to people. Are you getting ticket? Like, when are you getting tickets? Because our Fast Pass window is actually coming up. I think it's November 5th or 6th, and I'm in charge this year. So, you know, Rob, Kat, and I have annual passes, so we've got our tickets, but, you know, I gotta work in other people. My friend Laura, if she's getting a military discount, they usually wait. I think they get that in like December. And I don't know if Nikki's going to have her ticket or not. So what I'll have to probably do is book Fast Passes for 3 people and then cross my fingers that I can add a couple more people, or I'll have to book them and then we'll have to figure out once they have their tickets if they can get overlapping windows. We've done it before. It's not ideal, but it's the best scenario when you've got a group of people and you don't, like, everyone's getting their tickets at different times, because I don't want to be like, you have to have a ticket by November 5th. Like, I don't think that's fair for people. And if, like, financially they can't do that yet, I don't want to put pressure on people just for Fast Passes. So, you know, we do the best we can. We get the Fast Passes we can get, and then we try to make it work whenever people get their tickets. Tricky Crayon says, your Be Our Guest review is fair, and also kind of how I feel about CRT now. What is CRT? I'm trying to think off the top of my head. First time in 2011 was great. Last year was just I am blanking on... Oh, is that Cinderella? That's Cinderella. Yes. I've never done it. So, yeah, Cinderella's Royal Table. See? I got it. It took a second. I've never eaten at Cinderella's Royal Table. I would like to, but I mean, that's disappointing to hear that it wasn't so great. Fun Disney Fan says, I think Be Our Guest recently got a total food upgrade with the prefix menu. It isn't only better than last year, which was bad. It is better than when it opened, in my opinion. Okay, good to know. I have not checked out the menu since they've changed it. I feel like they've changed the menu a few times in the past couple of years, if I'm correct. I feel like they were like really trying to work on it and like figure out what works the best. I mean, the gray stuff is delicious, though. I'll give them that. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think like where else we want to eat. I don't know if we're gonna do Hoop-Dee-Doo again this year. I enjoy it very much, but we have done it like 3 times, and I don't know. I guess for that money for that ticket, I'd rather go on like a tour or something, which is what I'm also looking into. I'm trying to see if I can have some time in my week to do Keys to the Kingdom. Rob and Kat have done this before. I have not. It's like a good 4-hour tour, so finding the time to do that, like you really have to dedicate half your day to do that. So I'm trying to find a day, but I really, really want to do it this trip. And then I don't know, like I've done Behind the Seeds, I've done Caring for Giants. I've looked at, like, they do a lot of these VIP tours now that I'm not really into, or it's like the Star Wars tour at Hollywood Studios, and it's basically them getting you on all the Star Wars stuff. You know, I don't really need that. I can see that being cool for a first timer or something. So yeah, I'm trying to think what other special things I want to put that money towards. And we might also be doing Universal Day. I don't know if Rob's coming or not. At first I thought he wasn't interested, but he was like, maybe. Because I really liked Harry Potter when I went. Oh gosh, I think that was also 2 years ago. And I would like to do it again. I really, really would. So we might be jumping the Disney ship for a day and doing like a 2-park 1-day ticket and going over there. Let's see. Daffy Stardust says breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno was excellent too. The steak was cooked perfectly and the characters were fun. You had steak for breakfast? I mean, I ain't not judging. That's a very hearty breakfast. Says Francis says, Be Our Guest has certainly changed. The allergen menu as a bonus for anyone with peanut and tree nut allergies. Basically, it's included more customers with food allergies. I've noticed that in general. I've seen the allergy menus for a lot of the restaurants, and like they're really extensive, and it's really, really impressive. Like, it's not like, oh, you have this allergy, here's the one meal you can eat. Like, they give you a lot of options, which is really, really cool. Fun Disney Fans says Tim Tracker did a great review of the Be Our Guest prefix menu and of Cinderella Round Table Breakfast. I will have to check that out because I don't really know a lot of it. I mean, if it's good, maybe I'll go back. I haven't eaten at Be Our Guest in quite a number of years. So if it turns out that their new menu is working out for them, maybe I'll check it out for sure. That sounds really, really good. The Bon Voyage breakfast. Is that also at Trattoria Al Forno? I feel like I don't know a lot of, like, it's funny for someone who goes all the time. I think sometimes we get stuck in a lot of the things that we love to do, like a lot of the restaurants we love to eat at or whatever. And I feel like I need to start throwing more new restaurants on my to-dos for my next trip, because there's definitely a lot that I feel like I know the name, but I've just never been there, you know? So definitely we'll have to add more of that. I think I get lazy with breakfast, to be completely honest. Like, the idea of having to get up and get to a park for breakfast is like, meh. I end up just going to, like, the food court of wherever I'm at, getting some Mickey waffles, and then, like, calling it a day, and then going to the park, you know? So I do think I need to slow down a little bit more and get more, like, in-park breakfasts. Daffy Stardust with the thumbs ups. Yeah, and I'm trying to think, what else are we planning? I don't know. I'm in the mode of, like, I'm really excited to do fast passes. I love it. It's like a lotto, you know? Like, am I going to get Flight of Passage first? I don't know. It's really exciting. Am I going to get Slinky Dog? I don't know. It's really exciting. I love planning, so I like the idea of planning for Disney World better than the way Disneyland was, which was, like, very... For me, who's like very type A planner, and I plan my entire life, it was so stressful to be like, I can't book fast passes till I'm in the park. You know, I can't even really think about a lot of things ahead of time. I get it. You know, I've said it before, the park is more for locals, so it's not really meant to be fully thought out and fleshed out the way that Disney World is, but I actually prefer booking my fast passes early. I know some people hate it, and I know some people love the way Disneyland does it, but, like, I guess I'm in that weird minority of, like, I need to plan out my life for the next, like, million months. So Fun Disney Fan says, for me, breakfast is the best time to go to a sit-down restaurant at a park or resort. Says his battery's dying and has to go. Well, have a great Sunday too. Says it was great to have you here. Yeah, I mean, I really need to do more sit-down breakfasts. I realize, like, if I can just get my butt out of bed and then go do that, I would love to do, like, one of those really early Magic Kingdom breakfasts that happen, like, technically before the park opens, so then you can, like, eat and then get right to the rides, you know, before a lot of other people are getting on rides. I feel like maybe I'll do that with my friend Nikki on her Magic Kingdom day. Ooh, now I'm like, maybe I book some, Crystal Palace, treat her to a Crystal Palace breakfast, and then we just, like, get going on Magic Kingdom. That could be really, really fun. You guys got me, giving me ideas. All right, kids, I've got about 10 more minutes left before I have to run. I'm exhausted. I had a wedding last night, last wedding of the year, out of 7, and it was a very late wedding, so I'm sorry if I'm talking, like, so odd today, because I'm tired, my brain is working. Fun Disney Fans says, in January, are you going to a Disney After Hours event? I have not looked into the schedule. I know that they had a bunch this fall. I have not seen if they extended it. Actually, I'm going to look right now, because I would like to. Apologies for my typing noise right now. Because I actually have heard that they're worth it. Like, I was always a little skeptical about paying extra money just to have these extra hours, but I have heard that you get on so many things. So let's see if there are some for the week that I'm gonna be there, because that's the other thing. It's like there is one. I'm looking at the dates right now. There is one on January 7th. What are even the times? It's like pretty late, I guess. 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. is what I'm reading here. Oh, I guess that, yeah, because like things close early in January. Maybe I'll do it. We'll see. I've heard great things. Like, I was very skeptical about paying $125 just to get like 3 hours in the park or whatever it is, but I've heard that people just like go on rides multiple times in a row, and I guess if that's the kind of experience you want to have, it's worth it. Tricky Crayon says, I want to do DAH when we were there earlier this month, but because basically every night was Not So Scary Halloween party, I couldn't, so we did Not So Scary twice. Nice. I mean, you know, I love the Halloween party, and I need to go back again next year for it. Fun Disney Fan says, you also get free snacks at Disney After Hours. I don't really know much about it, but that sounds neat. Let's see. Stays open for 3 extra hours. I'm reading the details right now. Oh, you get ice cream, popcorn, and select beverages. That's kind of awesome. I didn't realize that. Oh, beware, the Peter Pan's fight will be closed on January 7th, 17th, and 24th. Is it closing for refurb? So that's the one downside to going in January. 2 downsides, I would say. The first is there's a lot of refurbs that happen in January because it's one of their slower times. So I am a firm believer that there is now no longer very slow times at Disney World. But they do tend to have things down. Like Splash will probably be down because they're usually working on it. Then there will probably be a number of rides down. And then the second thing is because it is winter, even though for me it's like way warmer than New York, the hours are shorter. So your parks are closing at like 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You know, it isn't typical that it's like open to midnight or whatever. So you do get less hours. The idea being that like if it's less crowded, it won't matter. Like you'll still get to do everything that you want to do, but case in point of my last January trip, that isn't always necessarily true anymore. I have seen crazy lines on some of those days. I'm afraid of January 4th, to be honest, because that is so close to right after New Year's. And right now, Touring Plans has it as a 9 in terms of the crowd calendar, because I think a lot of people, it's a Friday after New Year's, and I think a lot of people are just going to stay and then leave like Saturday. So our first day might be a little bit crazy. Tricky Crown says, yeah, January 7th starts Peter Pan's flight refurb. So yeah, there you go. Not that I'm the biggest fan, as you guys know. If you see my unpopular Disney opinion, not the biggest fan of Peter Pan's flight. So I'm kind of okay with it. But yeah, so I don't know. Do I want to... The only thing is this. If I do Disney After Hours, I will probably not do the Keys to the Kingdom tour, because they're both around the same cost. And so I think it's going to be a matter of, like, how does my schedule work out? And I don't know who in my group's also going to want to maybe spend $125 Magic Kingdom, or do I do it solo, you know? So that's something that I'm going to have to figure out. But I would love to do it and vlog it for you guys and, like, let you know what it actually was like, because that'd be dope. And I don't think that Epcot's what is it called? The Festival of the Arts. I don't think it starts yet. We caught it the last 2 years. I'm also going to look this up because we went late January, and I think for 2019, yeah, January 18th through February 25th. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means, like, since we won't be there for that, it's not going to be too crazy. We just couldn't go later because our annual passes expire at the end of January, so we wanted to have plenty of time to use them. Anyway, Fun Disney Fan says we gotta go too. See you later. I also have to be heading out in a couple of minutes, so if you have any last questions or anything you want to throw at me, anything about planning your upcoming trips, let me know. I hope you all are having a really great weekend. It has been very cold here, but yeah, we had a nor'easter actually, which is weird for October, but we did yesterday. It was pretty brutal. So it's been really cold, but otherwise we've been having a pretty chill weekend, so I'm not mad about that. But all right, guys, if there are no other questions, then I am gonna go probably work on some more videos for you guys, and then finish my night off playing Assassin's Creed, because I've just been doing that all week. Anyway, thank you for spending some time with me. I always appreciate that you guys take some time out of your day to hang out and chat. It's always fun. And as always, have a great rest of the day. Bye.